Uh, I
Ta-da.
believe we're live. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Good afternoon, good morning if you're chiming in from the future like Pim. But welcome to our carnivore slash emotional eating cravings chat. I'm joined here, similar to last month, with Jamie with Functional Wellness Collective and Pim, which is Bart K's better half. So, so how are you guys doing? What's new, Jamie? How's your month been?
Good. My month's been crazy busy, actually. I was thinking about it just the other day. I came home from vacation, immediately picked up and had to travel again for work. And I was just so thankful about how easy it is to be carnivore. And if you have to stop and
Yeah.
just eat patty somewhere because you
Yeah.
didn't have time to meal prep, how much better that is than just completely sabotaging your diet. So just wanted to segue that one in there. So,
Oh, wait,
good though.
way to sneak that carnivore
Yeah.
chat in there. What's been what's been going on with you, Pim?
I had a challenge in the beginning of July, and we had lots of people. I had 90 people joining the challenge, so that was quite fun.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. In
And
your Facebook group.
hmm well, it's
Nice.
not just a Facebook group, but we're doing it on Facebook, so it's in a private group, and
Yeah,
we had some amazing results. So that's so much fun. I love doing the challenges, but it is exhausting as well because I spend a lot of time just connecting with people and helping people.
yeah,
But um, what you get out of that is just it's so much fun to see.
yeah.
People can pick
Challenges are
things up in
hard.
a week. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's supposed to be a challenge.
yeah.
Not-
How long was the challenge? You said a week.
yeah.
Okay. And how often do you do them?
I haven't done one since February, but before then I did it every month for 4 months, and I think I'm gonna do one next month sometime
Oh, fun.
because it was fun.
Well, I think I have two updates. One, my low carb program that I talked to Jamie a little bit about is live, and I actually have a few
Woohoo.
people enrolled in it so far. So I actually recorded one of the videos for because I'm kind of building as as I go. So I
Mhm.
actually just recorded a video before this live. And the other huge update: this is day one without caffeine. Look at how lively I am. Look at me
Man, you're making me yawn, though.
go. It's day one.
I'm going to do a sympathetic yawn
You
for you.
actually are you actually lively, or is that desperation that I hear?
Uh, little bit of force, a little bit of forcing it. I
Oh,
almost
yes.
broke. I almost broke and got caffeine. I was like, no, I'm gonna try to make it a whole day. And so far, I've made it a whole day so far. I am tired though.
So why are you quitting the coffee?
I don't know. I want to rely on food for energy. I don't want to, play that adrenaline game and try to ride the roller coaster of energy. I want to see now that my fat intake is where I think it should be. I want to see if
Mhm.
I can kind of live off of that. So I'm just going to give it a go and hopefully I'll be fully weaned off caffeine by the weekend. We'll see. But so far today was okay with the side effects, minus the I wanted to like face plant on my desk a couple times. So
Really
hopefully no headaches pursue.
amazing.
Yeah. So a week from now, Pam and I will be like, we're high on coffee. And you're going to be like, I'm high on burning body fat.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a go. I want to try to go to the gym too. I might fall asleep with the lifting
Yeah.
weights.
Nah, going to the gym will give you energy.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. But let's see who's in the chat, and then we're gonna, by popular demand, we had a lot of requests for cravings and emotional eating talk. So
Nice.
we're gonna dig into that a little bit. So if you do have questions, drop a Q, and it'll help us find it. But let's see who we got. We got Jonathan in the house.
Yay.
He came at us with a question already.
Awesome.
Do you
Good
think
boy.
good one, sit boy?
Yeah.
Do you think the effect of appropriate sunlight exposure is of significance to an autistic population? And would it aid recovery from carb addiction? Pim, the carb addiction coach.
That's like a two-part question there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the first part, I think absolutely. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I don't have a stack of studies here to prove it to you, but I'm sure you girls can maybe fill in on that one. But anything that would help calm the nervous system down and reduce the inflammation, which sunlight exposure will do, is going to help anyone who's autistic. It's, as someone who's autistic, it's just that their nervous system is not like what a normal person is, if you want to use that term. I think it's just everyone is on a spectrum somewhere, and it's just like depending on whether we fit into the normal population, like where most people are or not. So I think it will just help anyone who is autistic to reduce the inflammation, reduce the hyper sensitivity, if we want to say that. And obviously, if you then work on your carb addiction at the same time, it's just going to make that work easier to do. So I think it will help you focus on it and help you stick with it and stay motivated and not sort of have I mean, I don't know. If we're talking about you, Jonathan, I think you're kind of calm, you kind of collected, because I know you, but you know, autistic people can be either hyper focused or they can be all over the place and, you know, have ADHD and all of the things as well. So I think it's really hard to kind of just give one answer here. But for you specifically, if I'm using you as an example, and I don't know if you mean this for you personally, but I think that would just help you focus and like really stick with it and stay with it, because I know that you're like, yeah, but I want a little bit of that, or I want to try this. And it feels like you have many ideas going on at the same time that you want to do.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add to that, Jamie?
Well, she touched on some great points, because you're not going to find somebody that's on the spectrum that doesn't have some level of leaky gut and dysbiosis. And of course, at that point, you have to decide, are the bad bacteria kind of driving your behavior a little bit? And we all know vitamin D is a natural antidepressant, so that's going to help with mood, whether it's to calm somebody down, like she talked about with ADHD on the spectrum, somebody who's unable all over the place, or even calming effects for people who are super focused and can't kind of switch gears. But you know, then you think about even when they have this leaky gut, they're not absorbing all the nutrients they need, whether it's vitamin D or any kind of vitamin. So bringing in that nutrient-dense diet that doesn't lend itself to carb addiction, but actually brings in those nutrient-dense foods is going to help all the way around. Like she hit it full circle. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I think anything that improves your mood will help with any addiction, no matter what the addiction is. Yeah, 100%. I agree.
And any gut work you do is going to affect your mood all the way around too. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got Joseph. What's up, Joseph? Carnivore hippie. What's up, Dimps?
Dimps.
We got Jim. Good afternoon, Pim and the Freedom Seekers. Dimps, no caffeine in over a month. You can do it. Oh my gosh, this is like I said, I think this is fake energy. I'm trying to get energy from Jamie and Pim through osmosis through the computer screen right now.
And I'm over here sympathetically yawning like every 30 seconds. I'm like, don't yawn. So like my nostrils are flared because I'm trying not to yawn. And then the more I think about it, the more I want to yawn. But I think it's just like alcohol. The first couple of days, it's not even that you're missing it, like you need it chemically, unless you're
don't lie, I miss it.
But part of that is that mental. I mean, obviously, Pim knows all about the mental aspect of everything. But once you shift and you have been without it a few days, it's so much easier. It's like when you give up alcohol. You know, it's the idea that you tell yourself, "Oh, I'm not going to drink again," or "I'm not going to drink for a week."
Yeah.
Or when I tell myself I'm going to fast, well, suddenly I'm hungry. But if you don't think about it, you can do it, and you shift pretty quick.
Yeah, I can't wait to just see how I feel without it. That's mainly why I'm doing it. It's just an experiment. So maybe I'll keep you all updated maybe by the weekend to see if I'm still abstaining.
Do like little video clips.
What's that?
Do video clips every day.
Like shorts. This is me without caffeine, and I'll be shaking.
Guys, day 21 of the experiment. I killed my husband last night, but don't tell anybody.
Joseph said, after all, coffee isn't the macro, but alcohol is.
Yes.
That's true.
They don't come from an animal, so we can't eat them anyway.
I mean, true.
Bring yourself. What about fermented liver?
You said liver?
Fermented liver. I don't think there's any alcohol in there, but it could be.
Bring yourself to be yourself. That's an awesome name. I went through the whole odyssey of quitting coffee. Then I went back because I'm a moron.
For goodness sake.
How long did you quit coffee for before you went back?
I think he was off coffee for a while.
Oh,
I'm
really?
just gonna share his secrets here. Yeah, more than a month. I'm sure about that.
Oh, damn! He went back.
So he's a moron.
you made Dimps run outside.
Oh, there you go.
JP Autism weed brownies worth a try. I mentioned that on one of my other lives and said I'm willing to try a weed brownie since I no longer work for the government. And someone said that's not carnivore. I'm like, I'll go vegan for a day.
No, you can put some of the carnivore crisp chicken flour in those bad boys.
There you go.
God.
This conversation has gone south. Jonathan, the research I read suggests that the lobes of the brain are inflamed from inappropriate signaling due to damaged signaling of different sensory control centers. Would this suggest it's bad? Pim, this is definitely geared towards you.
Maybe that's slightly over my pay grade. From inappropriate signaling due to damaged signaling of different sensory controls. And I mean, this is super complex. There are several but yeah, it's bad. Like, I think we can agree that it's bad. I'm like, what am I gonna say? Any appropriate signaling can put your nervous system on like being hypersensitive to everything. And I'm like, it could come from anywhere and it can cause anything. Like when the nervous system is damaged or inflamed or hypersensitive or whatever you want to call it, you need to find a way of calming that down. And obviously you can use nutrition, you can use brain retraining, you can use things like visualization, meditation, all of those ways to calm the nervous system down. And I think this is so broad that I'm like, I don't even know where to start. But yeah, I agree. It's absolutely bad. It's not something that you want. If there is inappropriate signaling, it's usually coming from some sort of trauma, whether that be mental trauma or physical trauma. It can be anything. And it doesn't, unless the trauma is still there, it doesn't really matter where it came from as long as you can fix it. And it's fixable, but you kind of need to know what it is so that you can start working in the area.
Yeah, that was above my pay grade. So Jonathan said weed brownies work wonders.
Going back to the other one just for a second, though.
Which one? The
inflammation. Talking about the inflammation.
Yeah. The signaling.
Yeah, I mean, inflammation right there is the root cause of the disease. So you have to think about, it doesn't matter if it's in the brain or in the body, you have to fix the inflammation. And again, good news, going back to carnivore and fasting, is we can regenerate cells and nerves while we fast and we put ourselves into autophagy and stem cell production. So whoever that is that Pim, they just need to put the work down.
And the inflammation we're talking about is chronic inflammation, right? So we're not talking about because your body is inflamed just by working out. We're talking chronic inflammation, systemic, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it goes two ways. So what Jamie's talking about is like use fasting, use diet to heal the inflammation, but it could also go the other way. Like if you heal the nervous system, then the overall inflammation in your body is also going to be reduced. You need to attack it from both sides. You can't just ignore one of them, which is often the case in the carnivore community. It's like, yeah, carnivore will solve everything, but it doesn't for everyone because we ignore the other part. And then you have the other extremes, which we might not be so connected with. Just like, yeah, you can just think and meditate everything away, and then they're sitting there eating shit and it doesn't work. Wonder why? I mean, you need both.
That's a great point. The autonomic nervous system.
I always say carnivore can't cure everything, but it can help with most things. I like to say.
100%. I'm with you.
What's up, Michelle? Sugar, carb-free weed brownies recipes are welcome. I agree.
Are they just like a bunch of potheads here today? Or what's happening?
Jonathan, hitting us up with the questions. How common is emotional binging, and why do people form particular attachments to specific foods? Okay, so this is a good lead-in. So I went through the emotional eating psychology course as a certification, and I don't know if Pim, because I think Pim and I kind of focus on the same things, sort of, and I know she comes at it from a different way. So I don't know if you, Pim, have a different cycle, but what I was taught was the emotional eating cycle is something happens that upsets you. You feel an overwhelming urge to eat. You eat more than you know you should. You feel guilty and powerless over food. Something happens that upsets you, and it just like keeps the vicious cycle keeps happening. And like mine was childhood trauma. And I use food as therapy. And most people, because of the hormonal response and what's happened physiologically, draw people towards the sugary and salty types of food specifically. And that's why the ongoing joke, at least when I was a kid, was a woman sitting on the couch eating bonbons. But that's what most people crave. But that's the cycle I was taught, and that's the cycle I fell into. And I did fall into the binging on chocolate specifically, and there's a physiological reason for that. But Pim, do you have a different cycle that you kind of, or is it the same?
It's the same. I agree.
Yeah. So what do you think what the reason is that people have particular attachments to specific foods?
I think most of the time, I think it's just a preference in taste, or that we just grown up with that food. It's like some sort of comfort food. Like when I was a kid, I always ate toast when I was sad. Like, and then we create toast because we think that, okay, well, when I'm sad, I need to have toast. Not consciously, but subconsciously or unconsciously, we're thinking that. And that's just so ingrained. It's a specific habit loop that you do have that you just want to follow through on. It's like sadness means toast means feeling better, and then we just want to continue doing that. So sometimes it's just a specific food. If you just have a problem with one food, for example, then you might want to explore, like, why is it that I always crave that food? Maybe it was maybe your parents are dead, and you know that, oh, I love my dad. This was my dad's favorite food. It just feels better when I'm eating it. It could be anything. But for me personally, it's just like sweet, I'll take it. I can eat brown sugar with a spoon, not a problem. It tastes nice, you know. I just wanted the sweet taste. I never had an attachment to any specific food. Sure, I have things that I prefer, which are usually the very sweet things like marzipan, white chocolate, licorice, those kind of things. But other than that, for me, it was just like sweet. Chips, pizza, take it or leave it. I don't need it. I'm not that kind of person. It's just sugar for me.
What about you, Jamie? Do you, because you're educated in this area as well, from a physiological level and the sympathetic response to stress, which emotional eating, some sort of trauma or something that affects you, kind of kicks you into that realm. What do you think how do you think our hormones play into that? And do you mind explaining a little bit about that sort of response that starts triggering those cravings?
Yeah, I actually think the emotion triggers it before anything else. Like Pim said, I think about my husband now, I'm trying to get him to he's keto. He does accidental fasting. And whenever he's had a bad day at work, whenever anything upsets him, or his belly hurts, he goes straight for bread. And he needs a piece of bread because when he was growing up, like that was his comfort food, and it takes it away. Or he'll claim it fixes his stomach ache, and I'm like, seriously? He's like, yeah, my stomach ache goes away if I have a piece of bread. So I do think that a lot of it starts with the emotion. Now, when you get into that habit, do you have that emotional roller coaster with the hormones and the glycemic spike, and then you want it again? Of course, but I don't think that's what starts it. And then Pam, you brought up this sugar, straight sugar. It didn't have to be a particular food, which makes me think, could you have had trauma in the past that made you like sugar and then you liked all sugar? Maybe. But then I also think there's probably some kind of dysbiosis component in your gut to make you crave the sugar that bad that you'd be willing to eat it with a spoon, versus saying, okay, I lean towards bread, or I got fired at work, let me have a bowl of pasta. that's not where you're going. You're going to just truly that sugar. And so I wonder if, at some point before you got a hold on it, if you did, have your bad bugs were in control there.
Yeah, I'm wondering, I mean, I've been thinking about that so much, but something that I have always had, clinically, I don't have a thyroid problem, but I've always been really cold. And I'm not saying that I've always been really tired, but I'm not as energetic as I would like to be. And don't think I've ever been. And I'm wondering if it has something to do with something in my energy conversion that is a little bit off, and that has just triggered me to want sugar because that is quick energy. And then obviously that has gone overboard, became addicted, and then it's that habit, and then that's what I crave.
And if you're finding your cells aren't working appropriately, then your mitochondria are not going to be able to make the energy, the ATP that you need. And so a lot of people do, they claim they have normal thyroid levels, but then they still feel off, and it's either a mitochondrial issue, or you can have normal thyroid labs, but then you have to, they just check your TSH. If that's not off, they usually don't check anything else. But you do have to realize that you can have normal TSH because it doesn't come from the thyroid, it comes from the pituitary. But that if your gut, if you have dysbiosis, like you possibly had, or you have a liver that's not functioning the way it should be, then you could actually have a conversion issue. So your TSH is going to look great, your T4 is going to look great, but you're not actually able to get it in the active form to give you that energy that you're talking about. Or then, if your mitochondria are damaged, then the cell receptors are probably damaged as well. And so you are converting, but it's not getting into the cell. So there's so many places that you could have a dysfunction that led you to that energy spike. So 100%. You should not get your caffeine right now.
Well, I don't have a problem getting off caffeine. The only reason I'm drinking coffee is so that I can get my eggs in.
Well, for me, I sometimes, depending on how, so for instance, my childhood trauma that led me to emotional eating and, that vicious cycle, that's a stress response, right? That sort of trauma. So, you're kicked into the sympathetic nervous system, and that's where all things start to happen with your cortisol, your adrenaline, the release of your glucose, your glycogen stores in your bloodstream, like all these things happen. And then your ghrelin, your leptin, all that stuff are fluctuating. And that is truly like what happens so fast that kicks those cravings in if you are kicked into that system. So I think a lot of times, at least in my experience, where I always open my talks with who here craves chicken, broccoli, or rice when they're stressed or emotional, whatever. No one raises their hand, right? You want the chunky foods, and on the physiological response, that's largely why. But I always lump the stress response to emotional, because that is a stress, whatever it is you're experiencing. So I always lump the two. I just call it stress eating, because emotional eating, some people get turned off by that, and it sounds less scary to say stress eating. But yeah, that is what kind of triggered my cravings to those specific foods, was the release of the fat stores and the glycogen stores and all that stuff into the bloodstream, because my body went into fight or flight mode and all that. So that was just my experience, but I think that depends on the trauma, and just I think that's more so individual too, because people handle things differently in response to, like, you can't control the hormones, but you can control your behaviors, and some people just have better control over their behaviors over those things more so than other people. That's just my belief.
But you know what I noticed, and it took me a long time. Like I was never a mindset person. I was more of a, put your big girl panties on, just do everything cold turkey, jump in, just get it done, quit your whining. That's how I was raised.
Quit the caffeine, cold turkey.
Put the fork down, quit the caffeine. And the more I work with people, the more I realize just what an emotional component there is. Just like we all have some level of disordered eating, it just depends on what level it is. And do you have, are you self-aware of it? Are you able to keep it in check? But, society has done that to us. But, I think about, we can balance our hormones And, we can fix that. Like, it's very common if you have one hormone resistance to have several. It becomes much easier. So if you're leptin resistant, you're going to be insulin resistant and, ghrelin and all those things. And you can work on those, but it doesn't fix your mindset.
Right.
But you can fix your mindset, and over time, it will fix your hormones. So, even though it is a vicious cycle, I do think I've learned over the years just how important, getting that the mind under control and how much it does play into your physical health.
Yeah, 100%. And Jonathan has a follow-up question. I believe that's a follow-up question. In your experiences, what has been the most powerful impactor to reduce pain sensations for a general population? Wow, Jonathan's going from autism to emotional eating to pain. Jamie, what you got? The questions on the screen. If you can see
to reduce pain, you got to reduce the inflammation. That's what I'm going to tell you. Yeah, first and foremost. And in order to reduce inflammation, right, you have to quit eating that stuff. Look at your, it's lifestyle, it's diet, it's the full circle, all the foundations, including mindset. Because like you talked about, as long as we're staying in a sympathetic state and we're eating our feelings and constantly raising our cortisol and our insulin and going back and forth, that creates its own inflammation within the body. But ultimately, if you want to reduce pain, you need to reduce the inflammation.
Do you have anything to add, Pim?
Yeah, I think often when we have pain, we focus on it so much that it grows.
Yeah.
It's like whatever you're focusing on will grow. If that's pain, if it's pleasure, whatever it is. And I don't have experience with this myself, but I did read a book called, I think, Mind Over Back Pain by John Sarno, which is a very interesting read. And I think he was given a lot of patients with back pain who hadn't been able to, they had operations and all sorts of things for the back pain and nothing had helped. And at the root of that, he found that anger is like the emotion that is suppressed. He used a different word and then suppression, but anyhow, which I was like, what does this mean? I had to check it up. What's the difference between this and suppression? And I forgot what it was. Anyhow. And if you can just learn how to process those emotions and kind of let all of that pressure out, then he actually had amazing results with his patients just doing that, which I find completely fascinating. I don't have any personal experience with that work. I haven't been in contact with people that have done it, but I would absolutely look into that if I was in chronic pain and thought that I needed to do that. And I'm like, I'm not going to go and train myself in that method or anything because I know how to process emotions. I would just try that. And I know, Jonathan, you know how to process emotions, so you can just try that. But I would still recommend that you read the book because it's a very interesting read. I was kind of like, really fascinating.
Yeah, I know he's in chronic pain. What was that, Jamie?
What is his process, Pam?
I don't know exactly what he's doing, but I know that he's processing emotions. So I'm just like, okay, we're processing the anger. I don't know what he puts into the anger. If it's like frustration, all of the connected emotions that could be perceived as anger, because some people say, no, I'm not angry, I'm just frustrated, or whatever. I would just bunch them all together. And if there are negative emotions that you feel like you can't express, if you are just have like a mother-in-law that you're always frustrated at or whatever, like process that shit, because carrying that around is not going to be good. Even if it doesn't solve your back pain, it's probably going to be good for you to get rid of it.
So JP says his cycle is carbohydrates, and then he followed up saying, and he's diabetic. So I would assume, JP, that you are on the carnivore diet. You have since transitioned. How long have you been doing carnivore? I'm just more so curious. See if there's any other questions.
Yeah, so if you're diabetic, like, why do you do the carbs?
Some
And I'm
people
not saying
have
that in a
problem.
judgy way. I'm asking, like, what is the reason that you continue eating carbs? Do you
Yeah,
think?
some people have a problem giving them up. Most of my clients are diabetic, and I know Jamie can probably attest to this. A lot of my clients are diabetic, and the standard American diet and the diabetic diet is still riddled with carbs. It's still heavily in carbs. So, like my client yesterday is type 2, and I said, give up the breads and the rice. That's all you eat. And oatmeal. Oatmeal is on the diabetic diet. That's okay. Like it's just a lot of conflicting information out there. So I don't know what kind of carbs JP is eating, but at least for the diabetic diet, there's still a lot of carbs on the diabetic diet that they're allowed to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately. And then
But
JP says I should consider a mural on the back wall. Yeah, it's a virtual. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I can have someone design something where I can color my hair blonde. What were you going to say, Pip?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think JP has been doing some sort of carnivore for a long time. I do recognize your name, I have seen
Yeah,
you
me too.
around for a while,
Yeah.
so I don't think this is just a matter of trying to get off of him. So yeah, that's what I ask all my clients. Okay, why do you feel like you need it? Like, why do you want to continue eating the carbs? Because there's always a want. Like, yeah, I do want to, and start there. Like, why do you want it? And then have a look at, is that actually a good reason? Sometimes it's as simple as that. No, it's not. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, Pim's got a super chat. Thought of a question.
I got a super chat.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Jim W.
Thank you, Jim.
Thought of a question while I was driving. Now that I have time to ask, I forgot what it was, but he sent you $5.
Excellent. Send another 5 when you remember.
Send another 5. Y'all have clients? How's that work? Yes, the 3 of us do. If we want to do shameless plugs real quick, Pim, you want to start with your shameless plug since we were just asked?
Yeah, I'm helping people who are wanting to be low carb just get off of the carbs. So that's like a spectrum from people that just overeat and all the way until proper carb addiction. The people that feel like, I have tried everything, there's nothing I can do, I just can't stop doing it. And then we just work through the whole, like what Nicole was talking about, we identify the triggers, all of that, and you will just learn how to sit with your emotions. And then we work a lot on the mindset, because if the mindset isn't there, you're always going to go back to what you're doing before. So we need to sort that bullshit out. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. That wasn't the best plug I've ever done, but that's what we do.
It's all good. It's all good. Jamie, what do you have
a virtual couch for them to lay on?
Yeah.
So through all of this, like
this isn't a therapy session.
I love it. It is in a way, right? Because she's addressing the mindset and where people kind of get stuck and they can't pivot. So I love that.
So what's your shameless plug, Jamie?
I call it Cleaner Keto, but I have a program that walks people through ketogenic diet, carnivore diet, all the different types of fasting and how to put it together to figure out what your sweet spot is, along with like diet variation, with your feast famine days. And then I have a membership program for people who just want somebody that can ask questions to and get those answers and have, monthly group calls and stuff like that.
Yeah, my shameless plug, see if I can beat that, is so I just do one-on-one coaching, work a lot with obesity, diabetes, emotional sugar addiction, chronic issues. But similar to Jamie, I also have a membership program, Low Carb. It's a self-paced course with monthly group coaching calls, as well as recipes, resources, and guides. It's my shameless plug. Jim W said ew to oatmeal. I agree.
Where did that come from?
When I was talking about the diabetic diet.
Oh.
And then, okay, so JP said he did Carnivore for a week. Talk about the poops.
You will detox. You can actually take activated charcoal to fix that.
Yeah. So we got a question from Aggravator. What's going on? Can antibiotics trigger carb cravings while on a carnivore diet? Heavily treating for Lyme at the moment and really getting the urge to hit the biscuits. Gut robust so far. Sign of candida lurking. Jamie, Lyme disease, autoimmune. What do you got?
Oh gosh, yeah, that's a big one. So yeah, antibiotics absolutely are going to trigger carb cravings because it's altering your microbiome. So just one round of antibiotics kills 70% of your microbiome. And at that point, you have that gaping hole where the hardy synergistic bad bacteria proliferate and take over if you aren't really proactive to fix that. And so yeah, candida definitely could be on the horizon for you. I would definitely bring in a lot more ferments, fermented foods, as long as you don't have a histamine issue. Consider probiotics. If you're on antibiotics right now, you can get Saccharomyces boulardii. It's called SAC-B for short. That's a really hardy one that you can take away from the antibiotics, and it doesn't die. It doesn't kill it all off like it does a lot of the other strains of microbiota. This one's a little bit more hardy. But then after your antibiotics, finish off the SAC-B and then go in and rotate out probiotics on a regular basis for a while, along with bringing in those fermented foods, and cut out the sugar. Stick carnivore if you can. Is going to be really good for you in terms of making sure that you don't feed those bad bacteria. And then just, I feel for you on the Lyme front. So I don't know if you were chronic or if this was an acute Lyme diagnosis, but if it was chronic, you got a long road ahead of you. So I wish you all the good vibes.
Do you have anything to add, Pim?
No, I think that's pretty accurate. I mean, what's happening in your gut microbiome will absolutely 100% affect how much cravings you have. Absolutely. Just getting rid of that is not necessarily going to solve an addiction, but if you notice that, okay, I took antibiotics and now my cravings are through the roof, that is the problem. Then it's not an emotional problem.
Sorry, Jonathan says he has questions unanswered. I don't see any.
I think when you jumped to the super chat, you just jumped quite far down the list.
I did?
Because I was also too far. I was like, she's not read this. Oh, well,
Really?
whatever.
Let me see.
It's okay.
I missed it?
Yeah, everyone here is a critic, right?
Huh. In contrast, oh, is this? Here we go. In contrast, what behaviors or routines are important to practice to stimulate appetite whilst on a carnivore diet? Sorry, I had to get that British accent in there.
Not sure you succeeded.
No. It's the caffeine. Whilst. Whilst? Well, whilst?
I have no idea.
What behaviors or routines are important to practice to stimulate appetite? I mean, exercise, walking,
weed brownies.
Form of weed brownies. Stay away from the flaming hot Cheetos. Yeah, any sort of exercise, movement. Yeah, what do you got, Jamie?
Well, I'm sitting here thinking how much I love that Pim comes from a mindset perspective, and I'm always thinking clinically, like, what can I put them on? But
I used to do that, and I'm so sick of it because without the mindset, it doesn't work. So I'm like, oh, fuck that. Let's
you're
just do the mind.
Exactly right, and it took me a while to learn that. Just like I said, I was raised kind of by this, top it up kind of mom, and but you're right, you can fix one, not the other. A lot of times, and if the mindset's not fixed. But anyway, so I have to say, if his appetite decreased a lot on the carnivore diet, one, that's not a bad thing. But number two, if it is a bad thing and it continues, I would look at his stomach acid. Doesn't have appropriate stomach acid, he's not going to break down his protein very well, and he might, be getting a lot more protein on the carnivore diet than he's used to having. So I'd be curious about that. Maybe adding some apple cider vinegar with his meals and seeing if he digests better, gets hungry faster.
Yeah, he's been carnivore for a while, and he said behaviors and routines. So I took that as outside of diet. So I'm not sure if that's what Jonathan meant. exactly what he meant by behaviors or routines, but I took that outside of.
You guys covered all those.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's what he meant. I'm not sure if that's what he meant though. But yeah.
But I also think the body gets used to whatever you're doing. So if you're like, well, I don't feel for eating, I don't feel for eating, I don't feel for eating, then you're not going to feel for eating. That's going to be a habit. But if you're like, okay, I am going to eat breakfast every morning, and you just start with eating a little bit of breakfast, if you feel like I need to eat more often or more meals or whatever, then eventually your body's going to start expecting it, and it's going to be easy to eat a bit more. So you can just get those time points in during the day when you want your body to start expecting food, because it will give you some hunger signals. They might not be long lived, so you need to catch that window when you're actually hungry. This is so opposite to what everyone else is asking, but there you go.
I know. That's the funny part.
Well, a lot of times people just ignore their signals because they get so engrossed in work. And it's kind of like I have to go to the bathroom and I hold my pee in, and by the time I was like, okay, I have a break. Now I don't have to go to the bathroom anymore. It's kind of like your hunger is fleeting. Like if you miss a signal, you ignore it long enough, it just goes away. Kind of like I have to go to the bathroom. I ignored it long enough. Okay, now I don't have to go anymore.
It takes a long time for mine to go away. I'm the opposite.
Really?
I'm like not even hungry, and I'm like, food? End of the day, food.
Jonathan said, would you prefer a less annoying question? None of your questions are annoying, Jonathan.
No, we like annoying questions. You will just get annoying answers.
I like all of those questions. I don't think I missed any other questions, right? Oh, y'all tried Celtic salt. I have not. Have you guys?
Yes.
Cool.
It tastes like salt.
Yes, it's salt.
It's funny. I don't know. Maybe it was JP that sent. I don't know. Someone sent, but a Celtic sea salt like little thing from fucking overseas. So maybe it was JP saying this is the best salt. And we were like, it tastes like salt. We don't get it. I'm so sorry if that was you.
Jonathan donated can only donate to Pim, unfortunately, but thank you.
Why can't you donate to?
I'm not monetized yet.
Oh, you suck.
I'm 500 watch hours away, and people keep like subscribing and then unsubscribing. I have the subs. I don't have the watch hours yet.
Guys, put this live stream on repeat on Michelle. What did they call you, Michelle?
I call her Michelle. It's actually Noelle the last time we were together. I said, bye, Noelle, and I hung up.
Yeah, I think I saw Michelle A saying fucking buffering. Ciao, enjoy the live chat.
I don't think she said
multitasking.
I don't think she said fucking, did she?
She did.
Hey, Joseph said British accent. Depends on where you're from. Hundreds of British accents. That's Jonathan said yes, Nicole. So does yes, Nicole mean I did a good British accent? Whilst?
I don't know, but go to Nicole's YouTube channel and put this shit on repeat.
Put this shit on repeat.
500 watch hours.
Thank you. I need 3,000 watch hours.
Oh, there you go.
It. And you're 500 short?
You need, for the lower tier, you need 500 subs. I'm over that, but I need 3,000 watch hours. I'm just over 2,500.
Is it 500 now? It used to be 1,000.
For the lower tier, the 1,000's still for ads and all that stuff. Yeah, they added another tier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Okay.
YouTube.
So Aggravator, this is for Jamie for the answer. Wonderful answers. Thank you very much. 24 years of Lyme untreated. Carnivore has been a life changer. Currently on that thing by stopping, and I'm so looking forward to a fermented food and yogurt.
Yeah, that's a long time. So I wish you luck on that one. Kind of a lifelong journey. Just keep it in check. I feel like you can keep it in check, but it's always going to come back if you're not careful. So Carnivore is awesome for it.
So Pim got a question. Again, question, Pim, not a question, but please stop gaining traction on YouTube. I'm trying to surpass your subscriber count.
I have, Jonathan. I had a video, my interview with, my second interview I had with Sally K. Norton. It got like 10,000 views every week for a month, and with that came subscribers. It stopped, and now I get like 3 subs a week, and I'm like, this is really, really bad. So
Yeah, you hit
I've
a stall.
stalled since a couple of weeks. Don't worry, you're gonna be like, bye soon. Don't worry.
Speaking of subs, Aaliyah Wells challenged me, and I know she's gonna watch this replay. So I don't know if anyone follows Dave Mack, No Carb Life. This girl, we were on a live like late. It was like 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it was like my husband's over in the other room, passed the hell out. And she challenged me out of nowhere. The first one to 1,000 subs wins, and now we have to eat a Pop-Tart on screen like a mukbang style, like eat a Pop-Tart. I'm like, so she like gained so many subs. She's like 620, and I'm still stuck at 675. I was like, how are you gaining? I'm not eating a Pop-Tart, and I'm not eating a Pop-Tart on camera. So everyone needs to subscribe to me because that's going to be disgusting.
All right,
Yes,
how about willing to eat raw liver?
She said raw brain. I can't do the, or I can't. I can't.
I would rather eat raw liver.
Would you?
Yeah, I've tried it, but I froze it first.
Wait, do you eat raw foods, Pim?
Sometimes.
Do you, Jamie?
I used to be big into it, but not so much anymore.
Ooh, I haven't gone down that.
But raw liver, I've never had that. But if you advertise that, you're going to get a lot of people to watch.
I'm going to advertise. I'm going to advertise the lab grown meat. I already put it out there on my channel that once the restaurant starts serving it in DC, my butt is going to take the metro in a DC, grab some fake chicken, come back, turn the camera on, and do a YouTube live and eat some lab-grown chicken. I'm going to do a mukbang. I'm going to take one for the team.
But you need to talk more about this challenge and get people to help you to not have to eat the Pop-Tart.
I know.
If it's taking you 45 minutes to mention it, of course you're not going to grow. Come on. Guys, subscribe to Nicole Michelle.
I forgot until you said monetized. But yeah, I have it on Facebook. I was like, please don't let me eat Pop-Tarts. Please subscribe. But JP said Celtic salt has a lot of minerals. Can eat it, no worries. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It tastes salty. I like salt.
Sodium's one of the minerals. I sleep through YouTube videos all night, mostly flat earth, but I'll see if Nicole has something I can sleep to. Man, you can't sleep towards mine. I sing and dance. You can't miss my dancing, at least. You have to at least witness that.
You could turn the volume down so it's just like a whisper.
That's true. Jonathan said, Nicole, please, could you inform us of your services more and detail any oppressive transformations? Absolutely, Jonathan. We appreciate your questions. So I do one-on-one coaching. So I offer 1 call a month and 2 calls a month. And yeah, I work with people who typically need to lose 60 or more pounds. So obesity, a lot of my clients are pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetic. A lot of them have fatty livers, digestive issues, chronic inflammation. So a success is one particular person I've been working with for a year. He has about 100 pounds to lose, or had. He came to me, his A1C was 9 something, like through the roof. And so far this year, in the last, I think, 6 months, he goes to his endocrinologist every 3 months. So 5-6 months ago, he went, his A1C got down to 7 something. And then just shy of a month ago, his A1C was down to 6.1. So we got him from type 2 to pre. So we're so close on reversing his diabetes through diet alone. And his endocrinologist still try to put him on Trulicity and all these other drugs, and gave him a whole list of overnight oat recipes and all this stuff. So it's hard fighting doctors like them going against what you're trying to do and what's working. But that's the biggest success story recently, is damn near reversing his diabetes, because he was in pretty bad shape. But yeah, all my services are virtual, either via Zoom or telephone. I haven't worked with outside of the United States yet. I'm not sure if Jamie has. I have worked with coast to coast. So I do have clients in California, and I'm just outside of Washington, D.C., but I haven't worked with overseas yet. So I would be I would love to branch outside of the US, at least like Canada, maybe UK for some English speaking countries. Jamie, have you ventured outside the US?
Only one person.
Okay.
But
And I know Pim has a lot of clients in the US.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are you just working with US people? I'm like,
I haven't. I
Germans,
market.
English people, Australians,
Yeah.
Kiwis,
Ah,
US, South Africans. Like,
ah,
I'll take anyone.
me
I'm
too.
a whore.
I'm a whore. Feed me.
Yeah.
What are all of your goals to achieve by the end of this apparent 2023 year? What does apparent
What can they
2020
not be?
like maybe not the
Oh my
2023
God.
year? Like business goals or just overall goals? Pim, why don't you start? What are your goals?
Do we have to have goals?
I'm not sure. Do you not have any goals?
Oh, I have goals, but they are a little bit more long term. I don't have any short term goals right now. And I don't know if that's what I mean, by the end of this apparent 2023
Apparent,
year.
yeah. Like this year's not happening.
No, I don't have anything specific.
Right?
I don't have anything specific that I need to achieve by the end of this year. I'm working towards my bigger dream, and that's my entire focus. So I
Yeah.
do break it down, but it's more on like a weekly or monthly basis, like just so that I have some milestones to work towards. But yeah.
What's your big overall goal? Just a thriving business and complete freedom?
Well, it's
The New
more like,
Zealand dream?
yeah, I need the money first. So I
need
need a thriving business so that I can buy a big piece of land and play farmer, semi off grid, put up some houses, invite other people who have similar dreams and just want to kind of live off the land and not be so engaged in the society. Like
I
build
like
my
it.
own little society
I
and
like
just
it.
raise animals, eat them, walk around barefoot, be the farmer, and then, I don't want to stop working online, but I will definitely want to spend a lot less time in front of the computer, in front of the camera, and
Yeah.
be more outside and use my body in, in the sun or in the rain or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Just be outside and be more natural.
Well, I think my family and Jamie's family might join you on your land, on your little
You're welcome.
civilization. Once they start banning and outlawing real animal foods in the US and this lab meat crap takes over, I'm calling you up, be like, yo, I'm becoming a citizen. I'm moving on the land. I'll build a little tiny house.
All good. Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you know when I have the land, and I'll invite you.
I'll be ground security.
Yeah.
All right, bring out my gun.
What do you got, Jamie? What are your goals by the end of this apparent 2023 year?
Well, I apparently need to pay my bills, but I've got.
That's not a goal. Or is it?
It is. Yeah, I've got 2 more programs I'm working on to finish out my foundations of my model, and then really just aggressively start pushing out there and stop being a slave to work.
Work your business. Work your business full
What
time,
a goal.
man.
So I mean, I love working. Don't get me wrong, but I really enjoy, doing my own thing. So, and you've got me convinced to start a YouTube channel this year, so I will.
Do you want to do your business full time?
Eventually.
All right. So that's not a goal for the apparent 2023 year. Maybe
No,
the apparent
2023 is going to be about, paying the bills, profitable, health. Health always has to be in there. I feel like once you've lost your health, you spend the rest of your life keeping your health in check.
Yeah.
In it. So, that's always a goal. Don't fall back into the hell of Lyme.
I think for me, outside of the thriving business, well, just business goals, I really want to break into the senior market, like senior communities, home care. So I'm making progress, but by the end of this year, I want to make an impact on senior health in this country, because it's shit.
And you are. Yeah. You found a niche that just you're going to make some waves.
I'm making progress. And then on a personal goal, to continue abstaining from caffeine
For the rest of the year.
Maybe, I hope. And then to drop these last 15 pounds. I'm so close to dropping the almost 100 pounds I was overweight. So I'm finally losing again. So to drop the rest of this, drop the rest of this weight.
Nice.
We live close enough. We'll go start working out together.
Yeah, you're only like a county over.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know that initially. JP went from Bigfoot vids to flat earth to dancing. Hell yeah. I dance and I'm entertaining as hell if I say so myself. I'm type 2 and 250 pounds. So how much weight do you have to lose? I don't know how tall you are or what 250 pounds means to you, but how tall are you? Jonathan says he has clients. All but 3 of his clients are global. I want to go global. I haven't gotten there yet. Pim, our interview airs in a few days. What an incredible feat of technology to bring that to our subscribers. I can't wait. What are your favorite animals that you won't eat? Cat, dog. Yeah, pets.
I saw this cute pig video the other day, and they were so adorable, and they were just like dogs, and I was like, oh shit, I can't have pigs.
It's the same with Thumper, like, rabbits and I can't. Or like the little pigeons that you see flying around. I was like, oh, it's so cute. And then I go to a restaurant and they serve pigeon. I'm like, I just saw a pigeon. Yeah.
If they're humanely killed, you're fine.
Yeah. I won't eat my cats though. Like I won't eat cats. Like I can't eat pets. Like animals that are domesticated and pets like cats and dogs and even bunnies and stuff like that.
So if you had a pet pig, not a pig pet, a pet pig.
Yeah.
Could you still eat pig then?
I don't know. I don't know that I would ever have a pig pet. Like
or a pet pig?
A pet pig.
God, I need to sleep more, I think.
I don't know. Jamie, what won't you eat? What are off limits? Apparently Pim just won't eat cat or dog, but she'll have a pet pig and a pig pet that was still eat pig.
It might be the cat and the dog for sure. I mean, I raised my kids on a cattle farm, so we named them all. We delivered them. We bottle fed them. They were our pets until they weren't, but we gave them a good life. And I had no problem eating those guys. They were delicious. As a matter of fact, we'd sit around the table and be like, man, Patty's really good. Which one we killed. I
need your mindset there, I think.
Yeah.
You have to if you're going to go live out there and have your own,
Yeah. Place. That's why I'm like, I want these Kune pigs, and they're awesome, and they're apparently very friendly and intelligent, and I'm like, shit, this is going to be hard. I don't know
how you can like raise animals and like, I don't know, feed them and take care of them and then slaughter them. I couldn't bring myself to do that. I can't bring myself to doing that.
If the world gets any worse than it is, we're all going to have to learn how to do it if we want to survive.
I'm moving to New Zealand.
We're not going the right direction right now, so you might want to get ready.
I'm going to live on Pim's farm.
Are we going to have pet cows and cow pets?
Yeah, cow pets.
You make them your pets, and when you're ready, you call me and I'll kill them for you.
All right.
Ooh, damn, I like that. All right.
I get half of me.
What do you guys think of cow farts? I had a conversation about like greenhouse gases, and there's some, I think Ireland like banned like cows or something because of greenhouse gases. So what do you think of cow farts? Do you think that's a real problem?
No. I think it's fucking ridiculous.
I think humans fart more than cows. I think we should have the Hunger Games and start like taking out humans.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like that. Like maybe Fauci and Gates and maybe they're onto something here that isn't so bad after all.
Jonathan says I'll share my goals: surpass Pim's sub count. Save enough money to take the close females, 2 small, 1 adult size on holiday. Have the leading carnivore fitness YouTube channel. Damn, dude.
By the end of 2023.
Big goals.
Go for it. Yeah.
How close, Pim? How close is he to surpassing your sub count?
I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna go to your channels. All right, hold on.
I can go to mine quickly.
All
I
right, I'll go
have
to Jonathan's.
5.75 thousand.
Okay, and he has 4.5.
1.25.
He needs to start talking about those cow parts.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
ways away. I don't know, Jonathan.
You know, the
I don't
first
know.
time I was on his channel, I can't remember. Jonathan, did he have like 1,000 subs? And then in just a few months, it was like bam, 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 bam. Everything just happened.
Just
But
started
now
gaining.
it slowed down, you know? So who knows?
Yeah, but how much do
Good
you
challenge.
post compared to Jonathan? Jonathan, how many videos a week do you post? Pim,
He
how many
posts like
videos a
every
week?
day. I
Yeah.
post one video a week and plus extra like this one. So
Yeah.
not
But
a lot.
But you don't do a lot of lives, do you, Pim?
I've stopped doing the lives. I didn't get much traction. It was just a few people there, and the time was really colliding with something else that I had going. And when I moved it, they were like, "Oh, but Jonathan is live." I was like, "Whatever, fuck off." I just not gonna do it.
So Jonathan was beating you out on the lives?
Yeah, I didn't want to compete, so I was like, "Okay, you know, it's not a lot of people here at this time anyway, so I'll just spend that time better." And I've actually done
Yeah.
some Facebook lives instead.
Oh.
Secretly, so you're missing out.
Ooh.
Your own fault for
Oh.
not being here live.
Damn. All right. Jamie's going to start a YouTube channel. Is it going to be low carb? What's your YouTube channel going to be? And when is the launch of your YouTube channel?
I don't know. I got to get there. I'm not quite there yet.
All right.
My demographic seems to be the Facebook for sure. I think I have an older demographic, but it's good. Lime, definitely lime.
Lime.
Yeah. So.
Well, does anyone else have any questions? We kind of went off script on the emotional eating thing. We kind of touched on it and then got into weed and some other stuff. Caffeine. What's up, Mike? Mike just went to the meetup in New Jersey, the Carnivore meetup. I can't wait for the time when I order steak in a restaurant and the waiter asks me, "How would you like it cooked? And how would you like it to taste?" Answer: medium rare and tastes like broccoli. I said that for the lab meat. I don't know if he was referring to lab meat because the person they were interviewing said they can make beef, give it the genetic profile of salmon. I was like,
"Oh, fuck. Why would you do that?
Malnourishing the American population." Yeah, that's disgusting. I can't wait for the day where we don't have to look for grass-fed, grass-finished. We just look for beef and they're just fed grass like everywhere else. Like that's what I can't wait for. And the restaurants stop cooking in seed oils because that's really starting to upset my stomach.
Right, you're dreaming.
What's that?
You're dreaming.
I know. I know. Jonathan said, "What informative content do you guys have for me to look forward to?" Pim, what informative content? Don't you have that big interview coming up, or did that happen already?
That happened.
You posted
a few days
it
ago. Yes.
Oh.
What day is it now?
Wednesday. Thursday.
So what?
Wednesday. I don't know.
I think it's my Wednesday, isn't it? So 2 days ago. Yeah.
Okay.
It's awesome. But I also have a new interview actually next week. And I think, Jonathan, your YouTube channel is bigger than his. It's Rob Goodwin, and we had a really nice chat. He's awesome. We were going to talk about the victim mindset and how annoying it is that people are just like, my spouse just ate something and therefore I had to eat the whole world. But as things go, we also managed to talk about, how annoying it is that people are like, "Oh my God, do you tell your clients to eat some carbs? You fucking idiot."
Yeah.
And, the dogma that is floating around even in the carnivore community, that really set him off. So that was quite fun. I'll let him just have an explosion of emotions.
Oh, I can't wait to see that.
And, yeah, it was funny. And I think he's just awesome. So we talked about a few interesting things that's coming up in 5 days. This I post every week, as you know, just once a week.
I commented I went to one of Pim's premieres. She hasn't come to any of mine yet, but I think I do mine way too early for you. Yeah, I do it at like 12 p.m. my time. It's way. But yeah, Pim, I went to one of I
2:00 in the morning.
I know. I went to one of Pim's premieres and I was like, I know it's been a while. She's like, you were just here last week. I was like, I was? I don't know. But do you plan to change up your content at all, Pim? Or are you not having issues finding people for interviews? Because that I'm sure it's hard to find people to interview, especially with the time difference and all that stuff.
In general, I don't really do interviews. It was just I was on Rob's channel a while back, and he just opened this can of worms with the victim
Yeah.
mindset, and I was like, "Rah!" It's like, we should have another one. So we decided we're gonna do it. He had some problems behind the scenes, like his mother passed away, etc. So he's been a little bit away from things, and now he's back. So we decided to do that, and I thought, you know what, I want to share this with you guys. So we just put it out. It wasn't exactly. I mean, usually I stick to the carb addiction part or the mindset part, and now there's other things in there, which is fine. It's a one-off. But we're also gonna do a live on my YouTube channel in maybe in the next 2 weeks or something. So people can just come on, and we're just gonna do it like we are doing it, but it's gonna be me and Rob, so you can come on and ask any questions, and
Nice.
you will get lots of rah.
I think the dogma. I think the dogma's not bad. I know the vegan camp. I just don't want us to go to that extent. But yeah, I was talking to someone because I'm very open that I eat carbs. I eat blueberries. I eat avocados. Like I eat things. I'm not zero carb. I'm not carnivore. So I'm very open about that. So I was talking to someone. I don't know if it was during an interview or what, but a week or two ago, and I mentioned I had blueberries, and this person was like, blueberries have oxalates. So I was like, yeah, but I'm okay with a handful a couple of times a week. It doesn't affect me. But yeah, you don't really have to be that strict. It's just like, yes, those things are in there, but people are more tolerant than others. But yeah, I feel like it's slowly starting to creep to being very extreme. Not everyone, but some people are making it a little bit too extreme. Like I did a reaction on Hungry Fat Chick. Her name's Candy, and she's like almost 500 pounds, and she's doing carnivore. And people were like commenting, seed oils are bad. Don't eat seed oils. You should not be eating fast food. She was getting like chicken and beef patties from fast food. I was like, dude, she's coming from binge eating and mukbangs, like these huge foods. Yeah. You can't like give her a break. This is better than what she was doing. But like stuff like that frustrates me.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, the majority of people who are being carnivore or whatever, quite sensible in general, but it's just these zealots that have to point out things and attack someone who's actually helping people. I mean, Rob is helping people like compete in some, bodybuilding or physique or whatever it might be. And if someone needs a little bit of carbs to actually hit their peak, then he's going to recommend it. And we were talking about how much that might be. And it's like, he's getting pushback because he's recommending it for a client. And they say, oh, you are not doing her a favor, etc. And it's like 70 grams. Like, who the fuck cares? 70 grams of carbs for someone who's exercising like a beast. Really? Do you really think that that's going to damage that person? And that person's goal is not to be 100% abstinent from carbs. That person's goal is to hit their peak fitness. So what's going to help that person get there? For some people, that involves a little bit of carbs. For some people, it doesn't. And you just need to be open to that everyone is actually a little bit different and at different stages in the journeys.
Yeah. What do you think, Jamie?
She said it beautifully. Yeah. There's nothing I can add to that. That was perfect.
Yeah. So Jonathan said, "Plug your stuff."
We'd already done that.
Did. Yeah, I thought we did. And then
that was a boring question.
Zila. We'll just
you
say
had fruit and honey several days ago. No, you're not.
He did. Oh my God, he did the fruit and honey challenge, the Paul Saladino diet. Oh, I would get so sick. What's up, Bob? Thanks for joining in. Rick, carbohydrates are necessary to get bigger, ? Probably an experiment to try.
No. That's not what we're saying. Like, go watch the interview on Sunday for you, Monday for me. Like, don't take this information and make an assumption about what it is that I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I just said some people might need it, some people might not. It's not a hard, fast rule. Not everyone needs carbs to get bigger.
Yeah. Jonathan and I did a reaction on just this very topic, and this isn't my like area of expertise, like bodybuilding, nutrition, and all that. But you know, I know a little bit about that specific topic, so that's coming out hopefully in the next month or so. So that'll hopefully help Rick there as far as carbs go, because that's a big misconception that you need carbs to put on muscle. But I don't see any other questions. But as far as emotional eating and cravings, we talked about emotional eating. Let's talk a little bit more about cravings before we cut this off, because we did get that as a request based off our last live we did. What tips do you have? And Michelle, who unfortunately had to get off, she messaged me on Facebook and said she kind of had those cocoa almonds. And she said she had too many and felt that she gave into her cravings. So for someone who's struggling, coming from emotional eating and maybe even binge eating tendencies, and going carnivore and kind of has a weak moment and gives into their cravings and goes overboard, Jamie, what tips do you have for someone as far as cravings go and to kind of combat that?
Well, first off, I just want to point out, and you brought this up one time when you and I talked, is just everybody is so different that they need to go into this knowing, are they somebody who needs to go slow into it? Are they going to jump in with 2 feet? Are they somebody who's a moderator, like this girl you're talking about, who's upset because she had some cocoa covered almonds? Well, she certainly didn't eat 27 ho-hos hiding in her closet. So to have a little bit,
ho-hos are so good. But go ahead.
And choose it consciously, and then walk away is sometimes healthy. Now, when we're talking about cravings for people who are going into carnivore and stuff, really that one, again, you can go in slowly like you did when you started your transition to get into ketosis. But beyond that, you still have to give your microbiome time to shift and your mindset time to shift. And sometimes that can be uncomfortable. And Pim's going to be way better about this than me, but just kind of talking into, why the fuck do you want the donut? Let's think about it first, right? Maybe go out and go for a walk and clear your mind, or if you can find other things to do while your body's doing that shift, it'll be a whole lot easier to get through that uncomfortable stage of cravings.
Yeah, before we get to Pim, you said something there that I want to touch on. But first, Rick says ho-ho sounds disgusting.
I don't even know what they are.
Oh my God, they're like this chocolate covered, cream filled, like cakey thing, and it's like a cylinder. It's like round.
Like
the
a
old
Swiss
you would
roll?
have loved them, Pim.
Sorry, say that again?
The old you would have loved them. Much better than a spoonful of brown sugar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Brown sugar is like Plan B.
Yeah. So Jamie mentioned something I want to touch on real quick before we turn over to Pim, because Pim is really like a level above me on this topic. But when it comes to other activities that don't involve food, I always like to use a 3-step process. And it's literally, the first step is stop, which is the hardest, right? It's the hardest because, like Pim says, and I started stealing this from you, by the way, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable, right? And like sitting with your cravings and stuff. I actually started using that with clients and stuff.
Perfect.
But you have to just stop. And that's the hardest thing to do for a lot of people. And then the next is assess, right? Assess your hunger. Is it emotional hunger or true hunger? True hunger is literally physical hunger. It happens over time. You crave a variety of foods. It's just natural. Emotional hunger is sudden hunger. You crave specific foods. It happens suddenly and all those things. So just assess, is it emotional hunger, physical hunger? And then come up with other activities. Like I always like to say, come up with top 3, whether it's writing, whether it's listening to music, going out for a walk, whatever it is, come up with 3 of your top 3 favorite things to do, and just write it on a sticky note somewhere where you have it. So if you do have those cravings and you're trying to work through them and you're trying to have more self-control, and you're that person who doesn't have self-control, stop, assess your hunger, learn to discern between emotional hunger and physical hunger, and then do something else, whether it's walking, reading a book, listening to music, going to the gym, whatever it is. But Pim, what do you have to add, and what wisdom can you depart upon us when it comes to cravings?
I think what you said is really good. Like the awareness needs to be there. We need to know what it is that is going on, because if you don't know what's going on, it's going to be hard to sort of sort it out with time even. The distraction part, having other things to do, I think is fine as long as you do it after you have allowed yourself to feel uncomfortable,
Yeah.
but not before, because then you're never solving the problem and it's just going to keep coming up and you're going to have to keep distracting yourself forever. And at some point, that's not going to work. So, since you were mentioning a specific eating pattern, like yeah, I had too many. So sometimes it's really, really simple. Sometimes it might just be that you're getting a packet out with those chocolate covered almonds and you just start eating. And what if you like, why do you want to eat them at all? Is it like, yeah, I want to eat them because I'm phasing out, or I want to eat them because I can't just not eat them, or whatever? But let's say you have a good reason for why you want to eat them. I would just decide, okay, this is how many I'm going to have. I'm going to have 5. Put those 5 in a bowl or whatever, just put them in your hand and leave the packet in the cupboard. And that's just going to give you that distance. And like, this is where I finished. I have those 5. Now I can't just go unconscious and continue eating. A lot of the time it's because we haven't decided beforehand how we want to handle it. We just think, oh yeah, I'm going to have a few. But a few is like, how long is a piece of string? You don't know.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, you're always going to give in to whatever your brain thinks is the best thing to do in the moment. And we know what that is. That is not stopping.
Yeah.
And that's how the overeating is just continuing. So it might be as simple as just planning how many you're going to have. Make sure that you only have that amount in front of you. And then you can go unconscious and eat them if you want to. But I would recommend that you eat them with awareness.
Yeah, I always liked, for the awareness piece, what you can also try. I actually tried doing this is, yeah, don't bring the whole bag of almonds or chips or whatever. Put
Yeah.
one serving, however you plan to eat, and only bring that with you. If most people sit on the couch and eat while watching TV, eat with your opposite hand, because you're more conscious and you have to think. Seriously, like, it's instinctual for me to just grab stuff with my right hand because I'm right-handed, but with my left hand, it's not as normal. Like, my left hand, I have to think about it. I'm more aware of what I'm doing, because it's not natural. My natural is to grab with my dominant hand. But if you're grabbing with your non-dominant hand, it does make you think a little bit more about what you're doing. That's just a trick I did, like, way back in the day, and it does slow down your eating, because like with this, you could just keep grabbing. But if you do it with your non-dominant hand, you do have to think about it a little bit more, because it's not as natural for you to grab.
You say that, but I have to just tell you, my mom was just like, you are weird. And I'm like, why? Because when I'm eating, if I only have a fork or only a spoon, I just swap hands, just keep eating, just all over the place. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I'm left-handed when I write, but everything else I do like a right-handed person. And apparently eating is like free for all. Whatever hand is free, I'll just pick it up.
Yeah, but most people aren't like that, though.
No.
Like, most people with their non-dominant hand, it's not as natural. So, like, you naturally want to grab with your dominant hand. So if you stop and you like switch, it just makes you think a little bit more about what you're doing. But yeah, if you're like Pim and you're ambidextrous and it's natural for both, then it's not going to work. But it's worth trying.
But
it's
not
worth
with brushing
seeing.
my teeth.
Yeah.
If I do that with my left, it's like, oh shit, oh, that hurt. That's what I'm doing.
Like jabbing herself in the eye.
I'm going to try Nicole. That's very interesting.
What's that?
That's interesting. I'm going to try it.
What, jabbing yourself in the eye?
No, using my dominant hand.
Not to brush your teeth, though. So we got a question from Mike. Do you think it's easier to beat addictions by removing stuff from your house, or keep it and simply tell yourself not to have it? I think the latter is great mental training. Thoughts?
Yeah, the latter. I always get my clients to do that, but if it's easier to get started if you remove it from your environment. I don't recommend to always do that because we live in a world that is full of crap. So you need to learn how to deal with that. But
Yeah.
for some people, it's going to be really, really tough to start out if you have your cupboard full of crap. So depends on who it is, how bad the addiction is, etc. Depending on what I recommend for that specific person. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Most
I want
most
everyone to get
yeah.
to a place where they can actually have it in the cupboard.
Yeah, most people lack that self control, especially in the beginning. Like now, and I'm sure Pim and Jamie are the same. My husband doesn't eat the way I eat. He's not low carb, and I've never asked him to be low carb. So he has chips and ice cream, Snicker bars, and whatever else in the freezer and cabinets. I don't eat them. I know they're there, but I don't eat them because I don't feel the need to eat them. But most people, if they're in the house, can't not eat them. So it in the beginning, I always recommend just getting it out of the house while we're getting started, and then we can slowly start to, you know, add them back in if they're like me and my husband's not doing it and I am, whatever. But yeah, I think a lot of people have problems in the beginning getting started with their addiction or whatever to abstain and they lack that self-control. They can't be comfortable being uncomfortable because it's uncomfortable. So in order to, because I used to do that, I didn't like that feeling of being uncomfortable, so I would give in to my cravings. My ass would get up from the couch and I grab all the things and then I eat because I wasn't comfortable being uncomfortable. I told you, Pam, I love that. But most people can't do that. So yeah, the ultimate goal is to have that self-control and to not feel like you need those things. But in the beginning, I don't know, in my opinion, I think it's a good idea to just have them out of the house and not even be tempted, because you can work on your mental game and your mindset without having those in the house, without adding that extra layer of complication in there, because it's going to be hard enough without having that temptation in there. You're still going to have the temptation, but you can still work on your mental game and your mindset without making things more complicated than they have to be. What do you got, Jamie?
Nope, I agree. I mean, you guys are covering it all. I don't know what else to say, but yeah, I do think removing this source from you is an easy, quick fix. But in the end of the day, like Pam said, it's not going to actually fix the mental block that you have. You're going to have to push through that.
Yeah. And Aggravator said, I found the best way for me to abstain is to tell myself that I gave that stuff up yesterday. Stops me from being in that this is my last one, honest, and I'll stop tomorrow mode. Yeah, it's always I'll start Monday or whatever. And if it's like Monday already, they're like, I'll stop next Monday, and then they'll just keep eating the stuff. So yeah, that's a good point. But I think that is pretty much, unless you guys have any last alibis, any other alibi questions you want to drop in the chat. Do you ladies have any other words of wisdom or plugs or anything you want to leave us with this afternoon or morning?
I feel like you have a pretty squared away group of followers here. Seems like they're pretty I guess, intuitive of what their bodies need already. It sounds like a lot of them are already into the carnivore realm. So that's awesome.
Yeah, we just have a lot of people who are in different parts of their journey, and I know Jonathan was one person who said he likes to learn more about the emotional eating and cravings, and I've gotten a lot of those questions recently, and then Michelle today. So I just thought this would be a good topic to talk about, especially because we have Pim on and this is what she does full time. While I'm educated in this, I don't work on this full time. I'm more so working with diabetes and stuff. So since we had Pim, I figured this would be a good platform and good time to talk about this particular topic. So do you have any final words or any piece of advice you want to leave us with, Pim?
Just like stop listening to everyone, start listening to yourself, what you want, what your body needs, and start seeking the solutions that you need from that place rather than just watching random videos and like, oh my god, that might be my problem. Oh my god, I need to try
Yeah.
that. Because when we try everything, it's just nothing is working. So just start listening to yourself, basically.
Yeah. And that's the perfect way to end it. So thank you all. Thank you all for hanging out with us this last hour and change. This was tons of fun. If you want us to cover anything, if we do this again, please let us know what topic you want us to talk about, or we could just come on here and chat again. But we definitely want this to be as valuable as possible for you all. So please do let us know if there's anything you want us to discuss. Other than that, thank you all for hanging with us and have a happy and healthy day. See you later, guys.
One more thing.
Oh,
Go to Nicole's channel and watch all her videos so she gets the watch hours.
Yes, no Pop-Tart.
And subscribe. Yes.
Damn Pop-Tart.
Yeah. Make someone else eat them.
Like Aaliyah. Calling her out. All right, guys. Bye.
But
Bye.